Hi, I'm Keith Cooper from Northlight Images, and in this short video I'm going to show printing canvas on the Canon Pro-300. Now the Pro-300 is not a printer you'd normally associate with canvas. I tend to think of much bigger printers and tend to think of printers with roll paper, but I have some cut sheet A3 sheets of canvas from some testing a while ago. It is still available. There are lots of different sorts. I'll discuss a bit more of that when we see what the image comes out like. But it is possible as long as you've got a good way of mounting it and displaying your picture. But anyway, let's see how it works. I'm going to be loading the canvas in the top feed here. Thicker canvases may actually benefit from going in through the rear feed, but this is a relatively thin canvas. It's a matte artist canvas coated for inkjet printers, and it doesn't need to go in the back. The advantage also is I've got this tray I can rest it on. But anyway, let's pop the canvas in. Watch the corners as well when you're using canvas, because bent corners can cause feed problems with printers. So I'll put that in with plenty of space. I'm just going to move the guides in so it's not tight, so it's just guiding in the paper, and it comes up at the top on the screen here, loading paper. Page size A3, well that's from a print I did before, so we'll just quickly change that to A3+, and type to Pro Luster. That's what it was before, but I'm going to change that, go down through the list, and I find canvas and register the type. Now you don't have to register the types, the paper and sizes you're doing and that you're printing on, but I find that it helps because if I've set it here, I'm thinking about the paper type, and when I go to the computer to print, it's much less likely to make mistakes. Now I test a lot of papers and do printers and things, and because I'm swapping between things, you do forget sometimes, and I have a steady stream of duff prints where I've got the settings wrong if I haven't thought about doing things like this. Just saves a bit of paper. Anyway, it's loaded. I'm now going to go to the computer and I'm going to print an image on this. Doesn't matter that it's folded over like this because it's canvas, it's quite floppy anyway. Now, I've opened up the image in Photoshop. It's a relatively low contrast image. It's one I would normally print on an art paper rather than a glossy paper, so it may well look okay on this, this canvas I'm using. I've opened it in Photoshop, and then I've transferred the image to the Canon Professional Print Layout software. Now, that's actually quite nice software, and it makes printing easy. By all means print from Lightroom or Photoshop or what you like, but if you're getting into printing, do check out this bit of Canon software because it makes things easy. Now, I've opened this, it's found the printer, and I've set the media type to canvas and the paper size to A3. I've also set the paper source to the top feed. Print quality is automatically defaulted to highest, as has clear coating. Now if I then go to look at what I'm going to print, I've got an option of either having a border like this, or I can select borderless printing. And purely because I can, I'm going to print borderless this time. So this is borderless on an A3+ canvas sheet. So we've got that. I'll then go and check color management. And with color management, there is a canvas profile. Now, if I was printing a lot on this canvas, I'd make a custom profile, but the Canon one here works quite well. One thing to note though is that we have the option of soft proofing. Now, as it stands, you're seeing the image with the relative colorimetric rendering intent. Doesn't matter what exactly these mean, but they slightly different options of how an image is transferred to the printer. If I now change that to perceptual, you'll notice the tree looks a bit darker. Now, given canvas tends to print quite light anyway, I'm going to go for the perceptual rendering intent because it gives a bit more contrast. Now that's not a hard and fast rule. Sometimes perceptual works better, sometimes relative colorimetric. Depends on the paper, the profiles, the printer, all kinds of things. But anyway, we've got this set up. You can see the slight overlap of the image over the edge because it's a borderless print, and I'm now going to press print. And it's now a matter of waiting for the computer to do stuff. It's not a terribly fast laptop, but it does well enough. And it will send the file. This printer, by the way, is connected via Ethernet. You could just as well connect it via wireless or even USB directly to the computer. It doesn't make much difference in that respect. What I would say is, if you want to know more about the printer, I have a video about it and some detailed articles about using this printer for all kinds of uses. The printer is now, screen is lit up, and it tells me it's going to agitate the ink. Now this printer does this occasionally. It's not the same as a cleaning cycle. All it does is just shake the print heads a bit and agitates the ink. Pigment inks, and they can settle out over time. So this is a good thing. We'll let it get on with this, and it will print when it's done. As you can see, it's drawing the canvas in, it's checking its level, and it's printing. I would say that because I've picked borderless printing, it's worth noting that it starts quite slowly, because with borderless printing, with any printer like this, the problem always tends to come at the front and end of the paper. So the printer is doubly careful in doing its initial bit of printing. Then it will settle down, then it will speed up. May remember, this was printed at the highest quality setting. That means it's going to take a few minutes to print, but you don't want to do high-speed printing with a media like this. So this is just part of what you get. On a large format printer, a print like this would take 10-20 seconds. But a large format printer costs 5 times what this does and wouldn't fit in this kitchen. Here comes the leading edge of the print, and it is absolutely perfect. Now, I can't emphasize enough how important it is when you're using media like this to use clean, fresh media that hasn't been bent with bad corners. I know it's easy to think, oh, it doesn't really matter, there's a slight curl on the corner, I've knocked something. It can matter quite a bit, particularly if it hits the print head. So these are fresh sheets taken out of a pack. This particular canvas I don't think has been available for quite a few years. It was an HP canvas that I had several packs of about 12 years ago to test an HP printer back when they made printers like this. But it's on its way and it looks fine. Given its canvas, I've also extended this tray here so that the print doesn't risk falling off onto the floor when it comes out of the printer. And here we are after about 10 minutes or so. See, the print is almost done, and there it is. So there is a photograph. It's in Oregon, taken on a drive across one of the flat bits of Oregon on a rather nice sunny day. The colour has come out very nice for canvas. I'm not a great fan of canvas. I do occasionally do larger prints on it, but the question now is, how are you going to mount and display this print? As a borderless print, you could just glue it on something, onto a bit of A3 plus sized board, and mount it like that. You could put it inside a frame. If you're going to display it for any length of time, I would suggest possibly varnishing it, giving it a coating, a spray coating of some sort. Do be careful with the chemicals you use for that. Some of them can be hazardous, but there we have it, an A3 plus canvas print done on the Canon Pro-300. Hope that's of some interest. Do have a look at my other articles, videos about this printer and printing in general on the Northlight site and on YouTube. Thank you very much.